I am Slick Nick, and here's an epiphany for you today. What I think is interesting and almost fascinating, that's a good catchphrase, this is almost fascinating, is that so often people, when they have fitness goals, instead of looking at the people who actually reach the goals that they have for themselves, they listen to people who have not reached those goals. I think that's quite a paradox, but I think there's a psychological reason why. So let's sort that out today in this conversation. So, like for me personally, and I've mentioned this many times, when I go to the gym, I go to the gym 3 to 6 times a week. There's a whole room that is nothing but treadmills, cardio. And in front of that, for me, that's where the sled is, where the AstroTurf, where I push the sled and I do 245s and I do that 3 times. I mean, it's such an awesome workout. I try to do it at least once a week. And for me, I'm always thinking every day is leg day, which, you can't, I understand wearing a hoodie, but ultimately, it's important to me that I don't have stick legs. I don't need to have a bunch of muscles just to be offset by skinny legs. So it's important to me that I'm always working out my legs every single day. So I'm never a guy who would ever skip leg day. Every day is leg day to some capacity because I'm walking an average of 3 miles a day after my workout. So, but when I go into the gym, that room with the treadmills, and there's like, 20 of them, who do I see on those? It's not people who have as low body fat as I have. It's people who have a higher amount. It's people who, when you look at their t-shirts, you can see, it comes out because they've got all this belly fat. And I've been going to the gym for well over a year, and these same people are on the treadmill every morning doing their cardio. Well, you've probably seen that ad before, that guy Vince, the V-Shred thing, and he's like, what does he say? He says, cardio burns fat, right? Wrong. It burns carbs or whatever. And that's absolutely true. That's one of the reasons I love keto, because I have so few carbs that I even digest that I easily burn them off the next morning if there's any left to burn off. So I know that. And what you will see is you'll see people who are just, and I'm gonna use the word slaving away. I don't know if that just demonetizes this video, but it's really what they're doing. It looks like they're slaving away, sweating, heart pounding so hard. But these people aren't losing body fat. I know because I see them every day. Meanwhile, the people who are smaller and leaner like me, you don't see us doing all that cardio. But what's funny is I've had other guys, for example, say, Nick, you're looking good. Whatever you're doing is working. And I'll tell them, what I'm doing. I don't really do cardio, but I do walk about 3 miles a day, 3 to 6 workouts a week. I don't eat usually till at least 2 p.m. Right now, I'm currently doing 2,000 calories a day, 100 grams of protein, and probably at least 150 grams of fat. But ultimately, probably 20 net carbs or less every day. And this is what I've been doing. It's consistently working for me. Now, granted, these final 10 pounds that I'm trying to lose on my stomach, well, that's why I'm doing this 2,000 calorie plan, to see if that can help me find that perfect balance. But ultimately, since I started keto, let's say last Thanksgiving 2020, I have not gained any fat back. It's been working for me. I'm happy, I'm full of energy, and I'm hardly ever hungry. Like even today, it's after 3 o'clock on a Saturday. I haven't had anything other than the coffee and the butter and MCT oil that's in it. Because on Saturdays, I'll have Bulletproof. That's my splurge, where I'll get to have some cream in there too. Because I know that some days I purposely need to offset my calories a little bit and do a little bit more, so that just making sure that I don't kind of keep my BMI too low. Because ultimately, that's like the biggest loser. You Google this. Why do those people gain their fat back? Because they get to a point where they're used to 1,500 calories a day, and it'll help them lose hundreds of pounds. But if you never recalibrate that by raising your calories temporarily, you're never going to be able to lose more fat. And I'm kind of at that place, so I need to kind of shock my system. So that's why I'm experimenting with this. But what's funny is people will tell me, Nick, what you're doing is working. So then if I feel like they're kind of asking me, what are you doing? And I tell them, what do they say? Oh, well, you're disciplined, man. There's no way that I could do that. I love carbs too much. I'm not as disciplined as you. Funny thing is, I'm not disciplined. In fact, as far as being hangry, I'm the hangriest person there was before I started doing keto. But I know that if I'm not consuming carbs and I'm not eating until 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I'm never putting myself in a situation where I can gain fat or I can store fat, nor can I be hungry. You can't be hungry without the hunger hormone ghrelin. So without carbs, you can't do that. And a lot of people miss it just in their coffee creamer. They'll put in a couple tablespoons of that, which is hydrogenated oils, which is the bad fat, which is an inflammatory, but it's also got just enough carbs to make you hungry an hour and a half later. Whereas me, my coffee purposely keeps me from being hungry because it's pure fat, 45 calories of pure fat from MCT oil. So I've lived that and I've seen that. But it's interesting that people will listen to people who are not reaching their goals. Like for me, and I've done this at the gym. I've seen other men and I've walked up to them and I said, what you're doing is working. What are you doing? I'm open-minded. I want to try it out. And so much of my success at the gym has been because of that. And a lot of the guys I know, they are doing very low carb, even if they're on keto. A lot of them are doing some sort of intermittent fasting. So, granted, who am I walking up to at the gym? Slim guys. I'm not going up to guys that have huge muscles and huge chest. I'm not going up to those guys because often those guys have skinny legs, and I don't want that to be me. If anyone notices my muscle tone, I want them to see it in my legs because that is the biggest muscle group that you have. So that makes the most sense to invest in that. But it's funny how close-minded people are to what's actually working. So I mentioned at the beginning of this video that there's psychology involved. And I've mentioned too before though about the 5 stones theory. What are the 5 most important things in your life that you really care about that'll still be there 5 years from now and it's no matter? So for me personally, I mentioned before, my faith in God, my marriage, being a father, my career, and then being fit and healthy. Those are the top 5 things I care about. So my life revolves around those 5 things on a daily basis. And so it's important to me, but I think it's this simple. It's not in those people's top 5, and that'll be actually the next video I shoot after this. For most people, they don't have a fitness goal. They have a fitness wish. Wow, it's so cool when I shoot videos. I have to just have like 8 words as a title, and I'm talking, and then I realize, wow, that would make a good. So let me close this video by saying that again. Most people have a fitness wish, but not a fitness goal. It's not important enough to be in their top 5. So therefore, they are not open-minded and willing to do things that are different than what they're used to, or even what society or our government teaches. Man, I love that. That's the next video. Your comments belong right here.